Slee, if you can hear us, describe to us what's happening right now.
Hi, Marcel. Yes, we are still here in Pennyville, where a police Nyala has actually come into the area where majority of the protesters are gathered. The Nyala is now going into these block of flats, which the residents are raising their concerns about around title deeds. Many of them saying that they're still renting, and for many years now they were promised ownership of these homes, and nothing has come of it. A few moments ago, the Nyala just went in. It was hurled with rocks and stones, and police inside are now shooting rubber bullets, trying to get the protesters to stop. The police are now seemingly disembarking from that Nyala. The Nyala is now moving out of the residence and is making its round. The police officers are on the ground. Protesters are continuing to engage with police, resisting, saying that they're going to continue protesting until their demands are met. Rubber bullets are continuing to fly here in Pennyville. It was actually quiet for some time. Earlier on, there were rubber bullets around 8 a.m. this morning, Marcel, but it seemed that the police were actually quite outnumbered at that stage. And for some time now, in fact, they had actually been missing in action and have actually just returned. We apologize for the shaky visuals. We're just trying to get closer to the action to show our viewers exactly what is happening at this moment. The Nyala is moving, and residents are continuing to resist the police, saying that they may in fact shut down Gauteng 7 days from now if they don't get a response from government regarding their demands for title deeds as well as services. As you can see, rubber bullets are continuing to fly, Marcel.
Slee, we see these buildings to the left of you, the grey face brick. From what I understand, those are the buildings that are in question. Who are the people that are living in those buildings, and who are the people that are demanding title deeds for the flats in those apartment buildings?
As far as we understand, Marcel, many of them are South Africans. Many of them have been living in this area for over 10 years now. And the issue is that some of these flats are RDPs, some of the flats were constructed by private companies, and so those companies had promised that the residents would be given title deeds after some time. In fact, there was at some point a situation where there was a rent-to-buy agreement, but they're saying that that's since not come into fruition, and they don't understand why they're not getting ownership of their homes.
And what have we heard from authorities, not just now since the protests have flared up, but since these people are saying that they've continuously tried to get answers and they've failed to do so? What are we hearing from authorities?
Nothing at this stage. In fact, a memorandum was handed over to authorities last month, and they're saying since then, still nothing. Bottles are now flying, Marcel, and the community saying this is their last resort. As you would have noticed over the past week, that communities that have really been complaining of service delivery issues in and around the city of Johannesburg, the West Rand, Pretoria, are all saying that now is the time to really get the attention of the politicians as we count down to the elections. We're 20 odd days away, and it seems as though all communities that have been raising issues and not getting a response are now taking to the streets. In fact, a threat has been made to shut down Gauteng within the next 7 days, where all communities will basically coordinate to shut down the province.
You're broadcasting now live from Pennyville in Soweto. How organized are the group of protesters that have decided to take their campaign to get these title deeds to the streets?
You know, Marcel, earlier on we heard from one of the organizers saying that not only were they going to barricade roads, but they were also going to march to the Premier's office. But we're not too sure whether that plan is still going to go ahead as they continue to ensure that Pennyville is shut down. Nobody can get in, nobody can get out. New Canada Road is basically a no-go area. Cars are being turned around. People that were trying to actually get to work cannot get to work. They're trapped in Pennyville. Children are trapped in Pennyville. They could not go to school, which was actually another issue which was raised by one of the learners, a 16-year-old girl who spoke to me and was pleading with government to build schools in this area because she says that there are no schools, there are no clinics close by, so residents and children have to either walk really far or have to pay for transport. And she was saying to me that her parents sometimes can't afford transport for her, and then she has to walk to school. So that plea is also coming from residents saying that service delivery has really been lacking. They don't have a mayor, they don't have a councillor, and there actually has not been a response from the mayor's office at this stage.
We're watching live pictures coming to you from Soweto, the area known as Pennyville, where communities have taken their plight to get title deeds to their apartments, to the streets. As you can see there, young men and I think some women running after riot police in Nyala who had discharged rubber bullets to try and disperse them in that area. Our reporter Slindele Masekane reporting to us live there. Sli, do you get the understanding that that unit has now left the area, or are they trying to get a better vantage point?
I think the police are at this stage trying to regroup. As I told you earlier on, it does seem as though they are quite outnumbered. I mean, the residents here are united. Everyone has joined this protest, even though some are in their homes because there are instances where tear gas is being released. But people are united. They're saying that they're not going to leave this area, or they're not going to be intimidated by police, and are quite ready to engage with them. As you can see, everybody's arming themselves with bottles and rocks, getting ready to engage with police if they come back. I mean, cars are also, like I said, being turned around. So I would advise motorists to please avoid this area if at all possible.
Sli, have we heard anything from the local ward councillor from that area?
Nothing at all. He or she is not even on scene. And that is something, in fact, the residents were complaining about, is that whenever they try to speak to their councillor, raise their issues, it seems there's no response, and that the councillor is more preoccupied with the issues of Rivoli and ensuring that Rivoli gets service delivery. But it seems they as a community have been abandoned, and it seems as though now one of the residents is trying to calm the situation down and ensure that bottles and rocks aren't being hurled at the wrong people. They're saying that, of course, the police right now, they actually don't understand why the police are here when they've in fact engaged in a peaceful protest, they say.
Give us an idea of where you are right now. Is that a main road leading through Soweto? And it looks like a major intersection that you are reporting to us from right now.
Yes, certainly. This is New Canada Road. It is one of the main roads here in Soweto, and it's blocked right all the way through. In fact, the residents began barricading roads from around 2 a.m. this morning. So rubber bullets have been flying for a number of hours. And when we, in fact, arrived this morning, we actually had to contact the community to say that we are here just so they were aware that we were on scene and that they wouldn't hurl rocks and bottles at us either, and to ensure that we could get into the area. And of course, we know from JMPD that the N17 as well as other roads surrounding Pennyville and Noordgesig have been blocked. And as you can see, residents are reinforcing those barricades with rocks, with rubble, with burning tires, and ensuring that Pennyville remains shut down. So at this stage, Marcel, the situation remains quite tense, and the police have seemingly gone off to regroup once again. And at this stage, the community is now out on the streets and ensuring that this area remains shut down.
You were reporting earlier that the community was planning on taking their protest to the office of the Gauteng Premier and marching there. Is that still the plan, to reach out to the Premier's office?
That is what is really unclear at this stage. The community leaders have actually disappeared from the scene. I'm not too sure if they're going off to strategize, but it does look as though the protesters are going to remain in this area. But I will try and actually get one or two of the residents to come and speak to us, just to tell you themselves around that issue. In fact, it seems there is an official here who's briefing the media at this stage around the developments. Let's just have a listen at what he has to say.
Mayor on the 1st of March, along with other complexes, Soweto, the flats, demanding ownership of the flat. And ever since, I don't any response from Kobo. So this is the reason now we are retaliating.
Just tell us about how long Pennyville residents have been going on without title deeds, and why has it taken so long for government to give you those title deeds? What are they telling you?
Nobody's telling us anything. They are running around not giving us correct answers. And we definitely know that we have to be owning these flats by now.
Are you guys still going to march to the Premier's office today?
There are people who are there already. Yes.
All right. Can we just hear from some of the residents what it's like living in these homes, not having these title deeds, and what it would mean to actually own your home at this stage? Is anybody willing to come and talk to us?
Anyone?
Tell me, what do you want to say to government? What would you like?
Hey, what 5 years? Asasba abafila ntoni imali lonyaka sisikhathela ngolilento yabo thina ezako enough is enough na futhi lento yabo sikhathela ngabo.
Anybody else who would like to raise their issue? What would you like to say, ma'am?
Firstly, Uzianda Ukulumayo. I've been here for quite some time, since 2007. So I've been renting all along. Sometimes angisebenzi bangilethela amaleta yangithreatenisha ukuthi kamele ngibhadale. It's so hard as a youth as a Pennyville engasebenzi. Uyabona ukuthi abantu abaningi kanjani youth asebenzi, most of us.
Tell me, how do you pay for rent? How do you pay for rent? You say you don't have a job. You say you're struggling to make ends meet. And how much is this rent?
I'm paying 1.2 now. So my husband is the one who's paying the rent, the food and everything. Yeah.
All right. What is your plea to government? We're going into elections. What do you have to say to them?
Title deals for Ijoshko and also ABSA. Services, we do not have the services at Pennyville. Do you get my point? Youth isebenzi, crime too much, nenya at the very same time. Yeah.
That is the latest from Pennyville, Marcel. As you can hear, a lot of issues around service delivery, crime, unemployment. The youth is basically begging government to respond to them and ensure that their area is not only safe, but that it has services and that they can get ownership of their homes.
Slindile Masakane, we're going to let you go for now, for you also to regroup as you continue to bring us coverage of those developments around those protests in Pennyville in Soweto.